coming up in this episode of the KickCast, it's a special episode because all the projects were picked by you guys. We have a Micro-shoery that needs your help printing your own circuits and a stick that will help you draw with light. So sit back and relax. It's time for the KickCast. Hey everybody, it is time for another episode of the KickCast. I am Ktdata, and joining me, as always, is the man, the machine, Drew Tyler. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Yeah.
I am glad you're back, and we are almost at 30 episodes. That's kind of crazy. 1 year and almost 30 episodes.
Amazing.
All right, so if you guys have never seen the KickCast before, this is the podcast about crowdfunding projects, and this is a special episode right here. Every single project that was here, Drew and I didn't pick. They were sent in by you guys, the viewers.
It's great because I didn't have to show up until right before the show and be like, hey, what are we talking about?
So you guys are awesome. So it gives us a great idea on what people are looking for. So it's always an awesome time right there. So, but before we go into the projects, we always have some news.
Because stuff's always happening.
So the first thing we found is this site called Prefundia. Drew, you know this. An important thing about a Kickstarter project is getting hype before the project goes live.
Yes,
of course.
Which I heard somebody today say, look at this project on Indiegogo who's raising funds for a Kickstarter. Like that was the whole point of Indiegogo, to get to Kickstarter. So tell me about Prefundia.
So Prefundia is a website where you go and post your project up, and then people can start giving you ideas. So you can showcase your product, and then you start building your following there. You also can get feedback from people, and you also can get stats, give you all that information you kind of need to tweak and adjust your project so it builds up. Because one of the secrets of being able to get on Kickstarter's trending page is getting a lot of funders in a small amount of time after you launch. And then you can be on the front page, which, you know, makes it even better.
Snowballs.
The weird thing about this company, though, is that they're not charging money for anything. I don't know how they're making any money or anything, but you actually see projects on here right now that people are posting up. I think this is a great idea to kind of build up hype and get feedback and stuff, you know. I know that you and we have gotten a couple people who've messaged us, hey, can you take a look at this project and give me your feedback on there? And
consulting style. And this is an interesting way to crowdsource, almost to measure the demand, at least. This is nice.
Yeah, so that way you don't launch a project that has no chance of making it, or you can go adjust and make it work on there. So I'll be paying attention to that. And, you know, the nice thing is if you're a user on that site, you can actually program it so it will let you know when the project has actually gone live on Kickstarter and stuff. So I think that's a great idea, and there's a market for it. And there's people starting to use it, so it's great on there.
Hey, very cool. I like that idea. I mean, I'm not sure that I would say that this is can't believe nobody else has done this, because this is, I guess it was due. Somebody to do this, like culling through things beforehand and to make them the best they could be, and to get that traction before they launch. So I guess I'm not really surprised, but it sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, because you see all these people who are saying, are we done with this crowdfunding thing yet? But you're starting to see these markets where people are making businesses. I mean, this one's to get the hype up. There are ones that help you track your project during the progression, and there are even fulfillment centers that like, hey, we'll help you be able to send out all this stuff too. So I don't think crowdfunding is going anywhere when you start getting these more micro markets out. I mean, there's a podcast about Kickstarter projects. That's nuts.
That is nuts. Look at us.
All right. So here's another thing. So let's say Prefundio's post project. Now you've got your project, and then you got to worry about shipping and stuff. There comes this problem about Kickstarter and shipping. There's an article in Forbes about it, and it talks about how tricky any of this stuff can be, especially with international backers, because what happens is you're not getting them out. So I'll give you an example of this. So say you have a pledge level that is for $20 right there, plus $5 shipping. So you have $25 for a domestic person, but when you go for an international one, you tell them it's a $50 pledge. One, it's higher, but the breakdown of that is still there's the $20 pledge originally, but then you pay $30 for shipping because, of course, it's expensive to ship things overseas.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but what happens is in both Indiegogo and Kickstarter is shipping and everything is combined into one. So that goes all the way into your system, all the way into your to your goal. So that $50, it says, hey, you're getting closer to your goal. You've gotten $50 closer, but in reality, only 20 of those dollars is going to your project.
Yeah.
So the article kind of tells you that you should kind of pay attention to the ratio of international backers versus backers that you have domestically because it might not be fully representative of it. So I was going to ask you, like, I've wondered why Kickstarter hasn't done this where they separate out the shipping so people can calculate it. Because one of the things that people don't want to do is not put shipping in and then go back later asking for money because that's a logistic nightmare for one, and other people are going to be turned off. Like, it's like, so you're charging me for shipping on top of this now?
Right. I gave you my amount I pledged, and now you're just gouging.
Yeah. So, yeah, I really wonder why none of these crowdfunding projects break out shipping like that. It's just everything goes towards the goal.
And if they did, I guess would be the question if they said, okay, your pledge covers this, and that's all that's going towards our goal number. You'll still need to add this much more. Yeah, again, maybe it's just logistics on the other end of trying to separate like pockets of money. I'm giving you X number of dollars, but only this much is for the project. This is just to get it to me. Yeah, we could see it. Like I said, we're seeing some niche things here, so we could see somebody taking that on.
Yeah. So that's something you should probably consider if you were thinking of starting your own Kickstarter project is how many international backers do you have potentially could back it, and keep an eye on that because that should go into how you account for the goal that you want to get. And then, yeah, it's like Rev says in the chat room, realistically, they should set their goal higher to include a number of dollars for international shipping and everything. So remember to calculate that into it. And remember, this is the internet. It's not just your own state anymore. It's all around the world.
Yes.
All right. So let's finally go into our first project right here. And we're going to give credit due where credit is due. So our first project is the Boston Boot Company, and that was actually referred to our friend I Go by Doc. You can find him on Twitter at I Go by Doc.
Doc.
And you can visit his brand new incoming marketing company at burncomedia.com. So if you're looking for marketing, that's the guy for you because I don't understand any of it. So the Boston Boot Company is actually Boston's first micro-shoery, not brewery, shoery.
Shoery.
And they're trying to take that idea of microbrews and applying it to the world of boots. So they're doing this by doing smaller runs of boots, not taking, mass production of boots where the QC can be a little bit lower and stuff. And they're focusing and taking time to make sure they got really good details. Their leather supplier for these boots is the number one leather supplier in the entire world that they're picking. Making sure they pay attention to little details. Plus, the boots look awesome.
They do look amazing.
Yeah.
When I looked through that project, I was astounded because boots have a pretty common shape, always have, and there's been a few standouts over the years of my. And I'm not a fashion guy, but there's been a few standouts, and these when I saw them, I just went, wow! I'm on board.
I know nothing about it. Can you wear boots with dress pants?
I think you can. Yeah, I think it's okay nowadays.
Maybe I'll try it. They even made these insoles that are supposed to be super comfortable and everything. And I just love the idea of this, that they're taking this is the whole idea of crowdfunding, is taking something that's already existing and, just making a 2.0 version of it. And these look awesome. If you're a fashion person and can tell us why they're not awesome, please let us know, because I don't know.
Or what it is, maybe that's, even if they just tell me what it is that's making it look so good to me. What part of this is striking me? Like, is it the white layer of something between the rubber sole and I don't know. I really like them.
Yeah, and these guys they've been in the boot business for years now. They've worked for larger companies, and now they're like, hey, let's take our own spin on boots, and that's the Boston Boot Company on there. So Drew, rating system, is this a back, track, or sack for you?
For me, this is going to be this is definitely a back. I love the idea. I love their play on words. The micro-shoery, it's brilliant. I love the look. I love the feel. Um, Project looks amazing. It's track, but I've got to find the funds. Like I barely buy shoes at all. I just don't even buy boots. I think all mine are years old. As you can tell, I rarely even buy clothes. Like so, it's a hard purchase for me. But these are really cool looking, and so
And they're supposed to be built tough too. They're
yeah,
meant to withstand the winters in Boston on there. So it's a good sign that you buy these boots. They may seem pricey now, but they're gonna last you years.
yeah,
And the workmanship and everything is just there's just something about them like, oh, I need
yep,
these boots. I don't
yep.
know why, but I need them.
If I had the discretionary funds right away, this would be a back right away for me. But as it is, I'm gonna track it till I find the funds and call it a back.
And then the tricky part about it is what boot you want to get now, because
Right?
they have some pretty cool ones. So I have no idea which one I want to get, but I know I want to
The,
get a pair.
my favorite's the Cambridge. The Cambridge that they have there because it has this like solid leather toe, but then kind of a suede upper. Oh yep.
See if I can find it. Which one is that?
The third one down.
Third one down. All right.
Oh wait, did I miss it? Nope, I went backwards. Sorry. Newbury. I
That
was
one
going
right there.
Newbury. Let me.
So that's a Cambridge, and then this is the Newberry right here.
Newbury is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
News,
Look at
yep,
that.
that one.
That is a magnificent looking boot.
It's just the little things. I don't know what it is, but there's something that just says if that was on my foot, people would respect me. I don't know. I love
Everybody,
it.
I respect you, Drew.
I love it.
You are my go-to man when I need information about video
Oh,
and 3D
and boots
printing
now. Yes.
and boots. Yeah, so you're going to become the boot expert. So,
Love it.
speaking of being an expert
Thanks to
on
Doc
things,
for that one.
yeah, thanks to Doc. Speaking of being an expert, you are my go-to expert on 3D printing now. So you want to tell everybody what the EX1 is now?
I can tell you, yeah, the EX1. So this project was sent to us by Randall Bennett. Randall B. In fact, I'm rocking my Randall B outfit today.
I know. I'm trying to do that too. So
Did you pull?
yeah,
Yeah, nice.
got a sports
So
jacket and a t-shirt on. Yeah,
for some reason, this speaks to me. This just says Randall B all the way.
we love you, Randall.
So he sent us this one. It's called the X1. It's a really kind of a simple idea that people have been waiting for, and these guys figured out a way to do it. And it wasn't just like a one-off. Hey, we figured it out. Here it is. These guys have been working on this for many years. About 2 years ago, somebody made the comment. See if I can find it. Somebody made the comment and basically said, in 2 years, we'll be able to print circuit boards, 3D print circuitry. Because right now, if you 3D print something, there's functional things that you can do with 3D printing, but for the most part, a lot of it's decor, a lot of it's designery type of stuff, and the functional things are certainly not electronics. Like that's a rare thing to find in 3D printing. But these guys at X1 said, "Well, we'll take 2 years and we'll figure this out." They have come up with a 3D printer that will print circuits as quick and as easy as you can print a photo, and it lets you put it on whatever the material of your choice is. You can put it on, wood boards. You can put it on capped on tape on top of something else, on fabric. I'm trying to remember exactly how they do it, but basically they have two chemicals that come out of ink cartridges, just like you print on your normal printer, that type of an ink cartridge. But they the way they make silver nanoparticles or something. Like that's obviously where your circuitry comes through. So this is just, I'd say it's mind blowing, but it's about time because people have been talking about it. And what if we could do 3D printing of circuitry instead of the other style used to be when you would do circuitry, and I've never done it myself. What is it called? Maybe when they etch it.
Yeah. You have to etch the circuit or end up baking circuits too. I've seen people use like toaster ovens and stuff to bake circuits and whatnot into it. So those are the ways, but they're all labor intensive and they take a lot of time.
Yeah, you paint it out and then you etch or whatever to get the circuits to do what they're supposed to be, where they're supposed to be. So think about being able to do that so much faster with a quick little UI program, lay out your design, your circuitry, and then just hit go. And it lays down the circuits just in a flexible way too, to put that onto fabric. they've got some great examples. So this is, did I miss anything? This is the rapid 3D printing of circuit boards. I'm floored that that they did it as quickly as they did from saying, hey, you know what? We'll be the ones to pull this off, and they figured it out, and that they're only looking for 30,000 as their initial goal. That to me is amazing, and they've already doubled that with another month to go. But the idea, everything, this is a fantastic use of crowdfunding and crowdsource stuff.
Yeah, I love it because like one, the whole 3D printing world is already amazing. They're taking it to the next level right here.
Yep,
You
yep.
know, I just love to kind of see what people are going to do with this. What kind of circuits, get wearable clothing or something. I'd love to have like a sports jacket that has a microphone just built in right there. Pair it with my phone. Never have to pull out my phone ever. Use my Pebble. Answer the phone. Microphone on my jacket. I'll be like, "What's up, man?"
We could totally do that. Wire it right into. This is it. You can lapel mic that thing without even having a lapel. Run circuitry out to the tail of the coat, and then all you have to do is, clip wires onto your coat tail.
Yeah,
Or something.
boom mic operators might not appreciate it, but I'm like, this is great.
I love it. I love it.
So like for you, is that a backtrack or sack?
It's definitely a back, but again with the caveat that they've got some pretty high levels for like putting this thing together. So it's me. I'm going to take it to the CEO of the 3D printing company that I work at and say, "Hey, we should back this so that we can get one of these in house." So I'm going to use some resources to back this. But I
Think about
love
it.
that.
You could use that 3D print a circuit into your steampunk dinos and like put lights or something into it. That like think
Right?
about it. That would be awesome. Or even like make actual steam come out of it. There's got to
Yes.
be a way to do that.
Yes, I'm sure you could.
Or you could use the conductive paint from the last episode that we were talking about, the touch sensor. Think
Very
about that.
conductive. Yep.
See
Yep.
that?
If you could print that on there,
Yeah, so this is a definitely back for me because the possibilities are endless, and it still has those roots. I mean, one of the levels I think is you can back a kit and build it, from just the materials they give you and stuff, which is that's how most 3D printers started in the beginning, was
true.
just building your own kits and everything. So I love this idea and being able to just see the things that people can do with it. So that's definitely a back on there. And again, thanks to our buddy Randall Bennett. If you guys want to check out something awesome, go check out vidpresso.com, especially if you have a TV station or want to show tweets, Instagram. I didn't even know he could do Instagram pictures and like Facebook comments on your live stream going at once. It's awesome. And
Yeah.
everything Randall does is blows my mind. That's why I'm trying to dress like him.
Right. He's gonna take over the world.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we're at least be on his coattails.
Yeah, I'll wipe his shoes and stuff, so it's all good right there. All right, so our final project of the night, is called Pixel Stick, and it was actually shown to me by one of the Ktdata.net's friends of the site, Vasal at SoSimbo Photography. So sosimbo.com, check that out. And he's a photographer, so this is totally up his alley. So Pixel Stick is actually a device that helps you create light paintings. You guys probably have seen light paintings before, where usually it's what you do is you set your camera to have a long exposure, and then normally you see people taking their phones and like writing letters and stuff out. So Drew's trying to do some light painting right now on there. But yeah,
Not too funny.
normally you can like write hello or your name and stuff. Usually the limit of that is you only can do one or two colors because you only have one or two hands to move around on here. But Pixel Stick, what they decided to do is like, let's take this to the next level on there. So they actually have a stick with 198 LEDs on it, and you actually can program images that you do in Photoshop or GIMP or any of those image editors, download it into the system, and you can do light drawings with them. And so you can see on the screen now, you can see these more abstract color things, and then you see this one right here where they're doing like an Andy Warhol picture. On the left side is what they did in Photoshop, and on the right side is what they actually did out in the street at night using a camera on there. So you can get really intricate designs and stuff. They say you can even do time lapse and make an animated GIF like you can see on the screen where it's this abstract lines going back and forth.
Yeah, so that was my question. Is how are they doing that one? And it's just you can set the Pixel Stick to do different shapes and designs for different exposures, and so you just string a couple of those together and you get that movement.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You can do a lot of things, and what's interesting is how simple they've kind of made this down. So it's essentially two 3-foot rods that you put together on there, and on the handle it has a sleeve that's rotatable, or you can lock it in. So that way you can make really cool concentric circles or do things
Mm.
and move around. You don't have to go just left or right. You can go in almost any direction and kind of give you all these really cool things. And it only runs on 8 AA's.
Really, I did not see that.
Yeah.
But for that portability, that's brilliant.
Yeah, and then to kind of store everything, it's the images, you just download them to an SD card and put them into the control box. And then on the control box, you can control what image you want to pull up, the brightness, the tint, the firing speed. You can flip the image upside down, your left and right direction on there. And it also has a port where you can plug in a camera remote. So you don't have to be in front of your camera, and it can just set it off on that. I love this idea. Light paintings are cool. I actually didn't know how to do light paintings because normally I'm doing moving
Yeah, if you do,
pictures. But so like once I saw this, I'm like, this is way cool, and I can see people getting super creative with it. The one thing I really want to see though is somebody getting one of these and just KickCast logo. Inflate my ego, guys. Just inflate my ego. I would probably cry at that moment. To be honest with you. I don't know. Have you tried any light painting?
Recently I tried because we were out on like a family shoot and I had a bunch of glow sticks in the car, and so I tried to get the photographer to do some, but it wasn't quite dark enough, and and the glow sticks weren't bright enough, so we just basically missed it by the timing. But I have done some in the past, and more so than just like getting your kids with sparklers out there. But it's I guess it's fun and it's unique and it's artsy. There's an iPad app that's similar where you program it with an animation or a picture. Mostly, I think it's still picture, and then you move the iPad through the screen, and it does a similar thing. But there's something about this Pixel Stick and its size and its height that just allows for some really dynamic designs. So, in the style of photography, this is certainly one that I would love to explore more.
Plus, it has LEDs. All geeks love anything with LEDs. I know I do.
Right?
So blinky lights on there. So is this a backtrack or sack for you, man?
Yeah, definitely a back, and given again, it's already 4 times over its goal. They wanted 100,000+, and they've hit 400,000. Another month left to go. There's just so much goodness in this Pixel Stick. I would be jumping on. They've already got 1,000 backers for like their like second crack, I guess. Because they had their first backers that they only gave 40 away at a certain price. Anyway, I'd be willing to find somebody to half that with me and just gonna go in and split a Pixel Stick because it's dang cool and I would love to play with it.
No, fancy cool. And this is what I love about Kickstarter. We've seen all these projects where, they're just taking things to the next level. Light drawing's been around for a while now. Boots have definitely been around for ages. Even 3D printing. 3D printing is maturing now, and people are taking it to the next level. And I just love it. This is the thing that I love seeing about crowdfunding, because some of these projects right here, I can't see big manufacturers going like, all right, we're going to take the risk. But these guys, they love what they do. They've spent their time and energy into it, and they've made ideas and projects that I'm like, that is cool. I want to help you. And that to me is the power of crowdfunding right there. And I want to help these guys any way I can. I just wish my wallet was unlimited, but unfortunately it isn't.
Seriously, considering that you pre-ordered a PS4, I'm pretty sure it's probably empty by now. Your wallet's probably hurting.
It's going to be hurting soon in December. Thank you, Apple.
Yes. Yeah.
So again, thanks Vasal for showing this, and thanks for everybody. So for Darren, I go by Doc, Randall B, and Vasal. Thank you, all of you guys, for sending us projects. And if you guys at home see any cool projects, let us know. We love seeing cool projects. I don't think I'd ever do a project on boots until Darren sent that over. I'm like, this is cool. I don't know anything on boots. Or even like the Pixel Stick. I knew of them, but I never knew anything about them. And so it's cool things like that. So you can always send us cool projects. You can email it to us, kickcast@ktdata.net, or you can leave it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/KickCast, or on Twitter @KickCast, even on Google Plus, or not KickCast. Just search for the KickCast. I almost said the wrong podcast.
It's that easy. When you're out playing on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, you get to tweet it and share it with people. Just CC us and let us know what you're looking at.
Yeah, because and as much as I love being able to search through this, all these sites are enormous, so things are bound to slip by, even though I try to be as detailed as possible. So it's always good, and I don't know too much about like movies and music that much either. So if you guys are enthusiasts in those, just let us know too, because I just see explosion. And of course, you can always join us in the chat room when we stream live. Our next live episode is actually November 26th, 2013, the week of Thanksgiving, if I remember properly.
Yes.
And you can find us at live.kickcast.net. If you guys are going like, wait a minute, what was the URL for the Pixel Stick, or what was the URL for the Boots? You can find all of those in the show notes at kickcast.net and look for this episode, which is episode 27. Click on the show notes. Bam. Links that will take you everywhere.
28, actually. This is
28.
28.
I can read.
28. They all blur together after a year.
I just can't believe I'm in double digits on there. And Drew, thank you always. I honestly don't know where the time went on this one.
This one, I love these projects. These are great.
Yeah, these are great, and I love having you here. It's always a blast. So make sure you guys watch live. There's some things that never make it onto TV.
Yeah, that's true.
And thanks to all of you guys who are watching at home. We love it, and I love hearing from you guys. And I'm just a big fanboy like you guys are too. So we will see you all in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Good night.